This just came in just seconds ago. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have put out a very rare joint statement. It condemns Vice President Kamala Harris's recent rhetoric. And here's a quote. "We call on the vice president to take these threats seriously, stop escalating the threat environment, and help ensure President Trump has the necessary resources to be protected from those threats." End quote. Look, this is serious, and I don't know if politics are ever a reason to do wrong. What needs to happen next?
Well, I think this is a great statement, Harris, because after November 5th, we have to come back together as a country. And if you're using this language against Donald Trump, what you're really saying is half of America, those who support him, are also fascists. Those are also Nazis. And it's really hard to come back and unify as a country if one half thinks the other half are Nazis. And so, again, campaigns are tough. Use tough language, use aggressive language. But this kind of language makes it hard to put that family back together. And this country, more than anything, needs the American family back together.
I love hearing you say that. And it makes me think, too, this is hate speech now. I mean, you're quoting Antifa, which the F stands for fascism. So now are these just the glorified, more better paid members of Antifa on the left? The vice president, wouldn't she want to separate herself from that? And by the way, they were a cause of a lot of the rioting that went on, not the peaceful protesting, but the rioting that went on post George Floyd. I mean, it is. It's like a glorified, overpaid group of left leaders now as part of Antifa. It's a question. I wonder if that's how they see themselves.
Well, listen, I think they're channeling their worst angels, right? And they're called to better rhetoric. And again, you cannot use this language and think it's going to work to win an election. And you have to think beyond just this moment. And if you're so hungry for power, which is what I think is happening here, they so want to retain power and they so hate Donald Trump that they'll break any norm, they'll break any institution to actually retain that power that they've had for the last 4 years. And again, Peter Navarro went to prison. They're trying to send Donald Trump to prison.
Well, Biden
Steve
just
Bannon
said,
is actually still in prison.
Okay, so the two Republican leaders expressing concern about Kamala Harris calling Donald Trump a fascist. Let's show an example of Harris doing exactly what McConnell and Johnson are taking issue with.
She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist.
I'm sorry, the control room, that was actually Donald Trump calling Kamala Harris a fascist in September. Control room, are you ready? Please run the clip of Kamala Harris calling Donald Trump a fascist, which offended the Republican leaders.
Somebody's got to explain this woman. This is a radical left, Marxist, communist, fascist.
Okay, again, I'm sorry. That was Trump calling Harris a fascist. I apologize. Control room, can we get it together? Johnson and McConnell are very upset that Kamala Harris called Donald Trump a fascist. Please roll the clip.
We have a fascist person running who's incompetent, and we have a president who's not even around.
Guys, I'm trying to show the clip of Donald Trump being called a fascist. That's what Speaker Johnson and Leader McConnell are really worried about. And you keep running different clips of Trump calling her a fascist. Please, humor me. Humor me.
Authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Okay, so that was Donald Trump being called a fascist, but not by Kamala Harris. That is retired Marine General John Kelly, Trump's longest-serving chief of staff, coming to the conclusion that Donald Trump is a fascist in his view. Guys, she did say this. She said it here on CNN. Don't you have a clip from CNN? We have got to stop him, Milley said. You have got to stop him. By you, he meant the press broadly. Quote, he is the most dangerous person ever. I had suspicions when I talked to you about his mental decline and so forth, But now I realize he's a total fascist. Okay, so that was from CNN, but that was me reading a quote from former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley, who Trump appointed. Milley calling Trump a fascist in an interview with Bob Woodward. That wasn't Harris calling him a fascist. Control room, come on. I know we have this clip somewhere from CNN. Come on, show it.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Thank you. My control room going a little bit rogue there and making a point, perhaps. This is obviously what Mike Johnson and Mitch McConnell are worried about Kamala Harris, agreeing with the words of some of the people who have worked closely with Trump in the Oval Office in the Situation Room. That's what they have an issue with, not Trump using these very same words.